Hello, everybody. Welcome to Weekly Jack, the internet vent piece that I've created. So, if you're new to this channel, I use this channel as a way to get my issues that I have growing in my brain out there. Um, some people have told me this is kind of relaxing to listen to, so I decided on my previous channel, I did a lot of these videos where I would talk about issues that I had and issues that have been ever present recently in my life. And I've already covered what I'm going to talk about today, but this is going to be more as an archive for that footage because that is unlisted and or deleted. And the footage or the subject I'm talking about today is this girl I met in October 2023. Now, for privacy reasons, I will not be referring to her by her real name. Instead, I'm going to use a replacement name. So, if you know anyone named Jane, this is not them, and do not send any toward any. I don't know how to do this YouTube thing. Just don't be an ass. Well, today I'm going to be talking about Jane. It all started in October 2023, where I met her on this app. It was, I believe I was 17 at the time, senior in high school, and I we didn't really click at first. It was actually the app that we were using is kind of weird to think about it now. It was kind of like a dating app for people who weren't old enough for dating apps. Um, I mean, honestly, I as much as this is kind of weird, I can really criticize it because I met them. But yeah, we didn't really click at first. She was kind of slow with texts, and there wasn't really like a subject to start off with. We didn't really connect on something like that. Um, until one day, I asked her like, "Hey, is there anywhere else where I could contact you?" And so I ask for her Snapchat, and she gives it to me. And then we start talking on there more, and then we start to. She replies a lot faster, and it's almost like you unlock something. When we started talking, we really talked. We shared one common interest with the YouTuber, who is it's a little silly to mention now, but they are Oni Plays, and this was I mean, now everyone talks about them, but this was like kind of before that time. I would say it's like right before. So like meeting someone that actually knew about them, it felt like it just felt great. I feel like I kind of understood their humor at that point, and that's whenever we really started connecting. And so we've only met online, and then I would say about 2 months later, we meet in person for the first time, and it was at this nearby garden. Um, and it was beautiful. I think it was a great first date. We all had a little awkward moments. I think I was red whenever I first saw her because she was just, I mean, still is just absolutely stunning. And And then there was a fair share of funny moments. There's a membership required to go inside the garden, and this was in November, and I believe it was November 1st, and my membership card to the garden expired October 2023. So it was like just before, like, or just after. And so this guy behind us um, pitched in and was like, okay, here, I'll let them in. And like they were like, oh, you have to be related to them. It's like, oh, they're my children. It was just a little funny moment, and I often go back to it because I mean it's just a nice thing he did. How funny, where would we be without him? Just sitting outside, just watching it from, like, looking at it from a distance. Um, and then after we were walking for a bit, exploring the place, looking at the trees, um, we go to a cafe inside the garden, and we're both like a little parched at this point, so I buy us a drink, and I ask if it's cool if we share a drink. Well, actually, I actually didn't even get to that first. First, I mean, this is just like something kind of to myself that I keep to reminisce about. The waiter, not the waiter, barista. What's the word? The person working asked, like, "Are you two dating? You guys are so cute together." I mean, like, it was just like the little things like that. I feel like that they didn't mean much to me now, or much to me then, but they mean like a lot now, in a way. And there was another time, or well, oh my god, I'm getting so sidetracked. No, there was. I asked her, "Is it cool if we share a drink?" And it sounds so simple, right? Just sharing a drink. You're on a date with someone. Might as well. Like, who cares? But I don't know. That just, it felt close. It felt personal. It felt like it felt serious. Like this is actually happening. And after that, we go on a few more dates. We have an inside joke. Like, on one of our dates, there's this one guy that was talking with this girl, and they were straight up talking like NPCs in a video game. Like, there's something about the way he was talking about something. He said like explosions, and he said it with such a white attitude. It was just infinitely quotable between the two of us. It was like explosions, explosions, or the other way around. It was like explosions, explosions. It's like every now and then I think, what were they even talking about? Maybe they were NPCs. But yeah, we got together a few more times. Not a few more. We got together a lot. I would say um, a fair bit. And something that meant a lot to me was I was her first Valentine, apparently. Another thing that I didn't even mention in the original video was um, for Valentine's Day, we I usually gave her a lot of gifts. Like, she was really into a lot of characters, like Mark Hamill's Joker in Arkham, or Gojo from that thing. And I would often give her gifts related to that. I think that she's the reason why I'm so into Batman now. She put me on Arkham and the animated series, and then I just kind of went off from there. But yeah, she would often stream to me like different video games. I just got completely sidetracked. I mean, that's the thing with the story, you know. I would like to organize it in a way where it's like I talk about this and like chronologically, but it's kind of hard to do that because I mean, there's like a few issues that I had during the time that I'd much rather bring up till later. Um, so yeah, I'll do that. But I completely got sidetracked with the Valentine's. On Valentine's Day, I got her a bunch of gifts. I remember it was Joker from Arkham. I think it was Arkham Knight, Arkham City. No, Arkham City, because he has like all the blood, like, and he looks all fucked up because he's got like super cancer. And there's other little trinkets in there. I think there was a Gojo plush. I can't really remember it all, but it was it just I felt nice. It was Valentine's Day kind of, except a few days late. And the date was kind of nice. My friend actually showed up with his date, which is really funny because that was not organized at all. We didn't even know we were going to the same place. But yeah, there's one thing that I actually commissioned an art, like an artist, a local artist, a drawing of Gojo, and I was planning to give it to her on Valentine's or at whenever we had our Valentine's Day, because it was a little after. But the artist didn't draw it in time. I think it was in fact maybe a week late. I mean, it was fine. It didn't really matter. I was just gonna give it to her later. Except I never did. It's still sitting in my room to this day, and it's kind of near where I keep my brush for my hair and like deodorants and other utilities. So like every morning when I wake up, I just see that, and I kind of get reminded of her and the fact that I should have given her this present that's over 2 years old now. But it's okay. Eventually it'll come. I'm still in contact with her. What else did I want to mention? Right. Back to Arkham and BioShock. She would often stream to me like these games. She streamed BioShock. She streamed Arkham. There was another game in the mix. I can't remember now. But we would just. It was really comforting in a way. We just kind of had our own thing. It just doesn't sound like anything at all. But we had our own thing going on. We like connected kind of through the game in a way. And after a while, I start developing feelings more than just I like you and you like me. I would say like love. And I would like to say, Jane, I love you, but I can't. You know, whenever I first met her, it felt like, you know how all your friends would have like this girl that they see, and you're like, oh my god, these guys are gonna like, these guys are like a great couple. Like I can't see them not together. Like these people belong together, you know? And that's how it felt with me. Like I felt like that person, my person, was finally here, you know? You see all your friends with a new, like, with their girlfriend that they've been with for like 5 years. It's like I I was just excited because I thought that that was gonna happen to me. But no, I mean it didn't. I mean I wouldn't be making this video if it did. But um, I mean it was partly my fault. I mean I feel like that there's not really any coding it. There's not any extra fluff I need to fill in between the timeline. Uh, I mean, yeah, I'll just rip it off. We stopped talking because of me. It is entirely my fault. I am to blame for what happened, and I feel horrible for it. I think I should start this off with a recap. Now, Jane wasn't. She had, I guess, an issue. I never really got a full explanation on it. Basically, it was she had a fear of intimacy, that being like any sort of, like not just straight up sex, you know, which I that's what I thought it was at the time, but no, it's more of like having a fear of compassion, like kissing, or I think hugging. I can't recall. I mean, again, I didn't get a full grasp on it, but it um it kind of stung a little bit for me, um because you know it was like, I mean, of course I respect her decision entirely. It just felt a little off to me, you know, how she was completely afraid of anything intimate, um yet would completely thirst over people online. No, I'm not talking about real people, like as in average, like, so I mean I guess sort of celebrities, but not like random people. It was more or less fictional characters. Um, like you had the TV guy from Has Been Hotel, Vox, if you know him. Uh, Gojo, which is the main one. And there's like Hugh Jackman Wolverine, and I think a little bit of Ryan Reynolds. Um, I It sounds like I've been keeping track. There's way more. I can't even remember. I mean, the reason why I remember them so vividly is because it hurt me a lot seeing. like enjoying having company with this person, but you know, I feel like that they would like it so much more if it wasn't me. I felt like sort of like a distraction, which is not how I saw them at all. I feel like I saw them in a complete romantic way. But yeah, I'll admit it. Yeah, I was jealous of these characters, which is a little silly to say. But after a while, I just kind of gave in. I mean, with like anime characters, they get millions of pieces of merch, so I just figured might as well like just give them like what they wanted. I mean, they're easy gifts, and that's another thing with the portrait was that is a reminder of their love for that character. Now, this made me really jealous, obviously, as I previously stated. Um, but this, I was kind of obsessive during the time. I mean, they were absolutely gorgeous. They have no right talking to me. I don't know why they even gave me a chance. It's amazing. Um, but yeah, I was just kind of just completely enamored by the idea of them liking me back. So I feel like I got a little defensive and a little obsessive. No, that's not true. I'm completely back. I was obsessive, and it was immature of me to act in that way. Um, Now, it wasn't just straight up like stalker ish. I mean, um, I kind of leaned towards it in a way. I created this account about them, kind of like how you see those Instagram accounts nowadays with the like say it's like called Ethan fan or Jeffrey fan or Tater. I mean, it was kind of like that in a way. It was just shitty CapCut memes that I would make by myself, and like it was kind of just set up as more as like a prank. It was never my intention to make them uncomfortable. But whenever they found it, they pressed me about it, and I was like, yes, that was me, and I immediately was like, do you want me to delete this or do you want me to take this down? Because I would totally understand if you did. Um, and they said no, and I never considered the fact that maybe they were like saying no because actually I can't even I can't even explain that. I don't know why they said no. Um, they were uncomfortable with it, and they just never disclosed it with me. Um, which I'm not saying is they're at fault. I mean, it's just a lack of communication, which I would have preferred. But um, I feel like that was just simply the tip of the iceberg. I mean, I feel like that's the first event or like the first crack at why we aren't talking anymore. I say talking as in a talking stage, like in a relationship, not in a you already should know what I mean. Point is, it was just a small crack. I wouldn't say small crack. I guess it was kind of large. And so I would say some time goes by. And another thing with Jane is she has I mean, I feel like it's a commitment issue. I don't remember if they explained it to me or not, but there was definitely like a weariness of actually starting a relationship, which I was totally lenient on. I was like, "Yeah, okay, that's fine. I understand. If you want to figure yourself out more, I'm here for you." But it kind of got a little draining at times, especially whenever talking stage lasts about, say, 6 months, maybe more. I don't know. Maybe I gotta think of the timeline more, but I think it might have been about six, maybe more, maybe less. But it was a little tiring on me. Um, you know, I mean, at this point, I fell in love. I'm not even gonna try to hide it. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I fell in love, and it kind of felt like this. How would I say it? Like, kind of like a portrait of someone so mesmerizing, so someone you feel so connected to. Yet you could never start anything with them. It's kind of there for just the moment. Simply just a memory that you could reflect on. And maybe there's some things I could have done better, but I did. And that's how it's gonna be. And there's no such thing as time travel. I have to live with what I did. And yeah, and it sucks. It was around September. I It was just on Instagram like normal, not Instagram, on TikTok like normal. And I see a mutual friend, and it has a dog as a profile picture. They have mutuals with Jane. Um, I'm fine with this, I'm fine with people having guy friends. It's normal. I have guy friends that are girls. Except there was something with this profile picture. Um, I had a dog with a heart. And normally that wouldn't be like, it'd be whatever, who cares? Gloss over it. Except that um, Jane had the exact same profile picture. And I guess in kind of I mean, yeah, it was just completely the wrong move that I made. This was stupid and immature of me, but I confronted them, not Jane, the guy I saw, and I mean, we kind of just had a chat. We talked about Jane, and it was like, oh, he's actually kind of cool, but no, he's not doing what I think he is doing, and then the next day he tells her that I just reached out to him, and she, I mean, I guess this is part of her commitment issue, and I guess just her fear of repeating a similar relationship. Like she said, situation reminded her of an ex, and she just broke things off because I weirded her out, and then that was that. That was kind of the end. I mean, we talked here and there, but before it was like daily, and then it became weekly, and now it's like not even monthly. You know, I don't know. I don't even touch TikTok anymore. I wouldn't I wouldn't say just because of that fact, but it definitely plays a big part in it. You know, there's been opportunities that I could have reached out and started something again, but simply because of that fear of having having to go through the jealousy, I just distance myself, and yeah, I distance myself a lot. Um, this October 2024, um, we were gonna make plans to hang out again. It's been a year since I've known you, um, but we didn't, and that was October 2024. We haven't done anything since. But yeah, no, that's where I'm at now. And if I get any comments saying, "Well, you could now," some time has passed. Um, she's got a boyfriend now, so I think I'm good. I know what it's like to be on being cheated on, so I'd rather not. I'm not saying that she would either. I'm just saying I would hate to get in between that and even do anything remotely like that. Like, I would just feel terrible. Well, all right. I'll see you next week. Next episode is going to be talking about my cousin, who it's kind of tied to this last story. Um, well, yeah. If you like this comment or type of content, please feel free to subscribe. It helps me realize you like this content. So, thank you very much, and I'll see you guys later.